On today's episode of the Cryptoverse. This is another installment. This is episode 2 of Invest With Me, featuring the EOS ICO. So come along for the ride. Hi there guys, and welcome to the latest episode of the Cryptoverse, your regular dose of news and commentary on Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. Excuse me, I was rushing around a bit just now trying to get the stream ready. Anyway, so this is episode 2 of Invest With Me. So I'm going to walk you through the process of investing in the EOS crowdfund. And I'm going to do this live on the air, and I'm going to invest my own money. So I hope you'll come along for the ride. So as you'll know, I'm also the founder of Cryptoversity.com, the online school for Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies and blockchains. And you can find out more about that at Cryptoversity.com. So this is episode 2 of Invest With Me, where I live stream the process of me pledging my own money to an ICO, or one that I find interesting. Lucky for them, I have selected EOS to feature on this episode. But to be clear, this episode is not sponsored by them, nor are any of their team going to be on the show. As always with Invest With Me, it's just you and me. So I think that's fair. Rightio. If you are tuning into this stream and you have no idea what EOS is, there is still time. Unlike many ICOs, this one allows you plenty of time to get in by spreading the issuance of the EOS tokens over a long period of time, like 341 days. So we'll talk more about that as we go. So in terms of what EOS is, well, it's aiming to be a decentralized application platform like Ethereum, but without some of the growing pains that Ethereum is having. And this is important because we're already seeing Ethereum creak a little bit, especially during very, very busy periods. And we're still at a very early stage of adoption. So that's all I'm really going to say about what EOS is. Right, I've covered it in more detail in recent videos, and we'll probably dig into the details of what it is a bit later as we go, or maybe in preparation for the crowdfund launching. So I've started this 30 minutes prior to the crowdfund actually opening, and so we're going to stay on topic. So if you wish to ask any questions today in the chat, please keep it relevant to the EOS ICO, or I'll just most likely ignore them. If you want the flexibility of asking me any question you like, then go to Cryptoversity.com and become a patron. You can join a private chat group, and then you can Q&A me at any time about anything crypto related. During the live stream, actually, the YouTube chat in this case is set to slow mode, meaning you can only post one message every 30 seconds. So think through what you want to say and make it count, all right? So let's see who we've got in the chat before I move on. What I'm going to do next is talk about what I'm going to actually do on the stream in terms of investing my own ether. So let's see who we've got in the house. Let's see, do I recognize anybody in here? Everyone's saying hello. Let me know where you're from, guys. Wonder if this coin will pump, seeing as though it's a year-long crowd sale. Well, also, isn't it Bitfinex are going to list it on the exchange, on its exchange on the 1st of July, which is what? Saturday. Okay, yeah. So there's a 5-day period where the EOS is going to issue tokens. So I guess that's today, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then Saturday at the end of phase 1, they're going to start trading them on Bitfinex. So it should be pretty easy to get hold of some EOS tokens if you want one, if you want some rather. Is there a bonus to be early? No. There's just more tokens available in the first 5 days as 200,000. Visual Samurai, gotcha. Visual Samurai says, I set an alarm just for this. Well, good for you, mate. Or I say mate, I assume that's a man's name. Apologize if it is not, but good for you either way, I appreciate you. Teach me the ways, bro. That's Andrew. What is EOS? We're going to get into that in a bit more. When is Ether going back up? I don't know. I think I called it. If you watch the market roundup from today, then you'll get a bit of insight on that. Italy, Michigan, Florida, Bitcoin and coffee. That's what I'm talking about. And Florida, USA. Like it. Australia and Portugal's in the house. From Worcester in the UK. London. Lovely. Any views on Antcoin? You mean Ant shares? What's that? Tiago from Brazil. Someone from Philly, Australia, Nova Scotia. The Cryptoverse. No, it says Hey Cryptoverse. That's not a place, is it? Brisbane, Poland. Western Australia. How delightful. Amsterdam. I have a question about, do you have any idea why everything is crashing? Is there a specific reason? Well, it's a little bit off topic, so I can't really answer that right now. Bitcoins and coffee. Says, love your show. Love your name. From Thailand. Oh, how delightful. On holiday in Romania. Pretty sure it's Bitfinex, not Bittrex. Yes, thank you, David. That's quite right. You are quite right. Sorry. They sound very similar. And in these streams, right? I don't know if you've ever done a live stream before, but it's quite hard doing live TV because your attention is split so many ways. Sometimes I can make stupid mistakes, but that's just the risk you take by doing live streams. So daft things like that. I said Bittrex and I meant Bitfinex because it's so close. Normally I wouldn't make that kind of mistake if I was concentrating, but because I'm having to concentrate on so many things, right? Let's actually check in with EOS, right? Because I've got the EOS site open here and let's have a look at the countdown. So 23 minutes time, the token sale is going to open. Token sale? They don't call it that. They've called it a token distribution. I suppose that's a differentiating factor in terms of their marketing. I've already read the purchase agreement actually, but so I read it yesterday when I was preparing for the stream. If you are going to invest in this, you do need to make sure you read that. But should we get to this? No, we'll leave it on the timer for the time being. That's a pun. Oh, the chat's already going mental. And even though I've got it on slow, have I got it on slow mode? Can someone tell me if it's working on slow mode? Is it just allowing you to post, or is it slowing you down? Let me know. Let's see who else we've got in the house. So after phase 1, then no one can buy any until when? Or no, phase 1 is the first 5 days, and that's when the first 200,000 tokens are going to be issued. And then following that, there'll be like a daily ICO. We'll get into this. I've prepared all this in talking points. We're just doing the intro right here. My body is ready. Okay, good. That sounds a bit perverse, but never mind. The Netherlands, any thoughts on Cloak Coin? That's a bit off topic. Darius. I would say it's because of many ICOs on Ether were overpriced. Ireland and Belgium. Nice to see people from the UK in the house. It's a good time in the UK to be on a stream, I guess. What about Korean coin, is that? More Amsterdam and London. North Pole? Is that a joke? Amsterdam. Is this the right time to invest in Ethereum? Well, it's definitely on sale today. So watch the market roundup because I called the best price to get in. I actually called the price at which I would get in. I think it was $210 or something like that. That would be, to me, irresistible. Is there any benefit to waiting later to buy, or is something buying immediately the best? Well, let me get into my talking points because it's very hard to tell when's the best time to get in. It's very hard to tell because there's no fixed price for it. Let's see. What makes EOS token valuable since transactions are free? We'll get into that. Hall is in the house. Nice. Oh, goodness me. It says slow mode is enabled. Good. Thank you. That just means I can I can probably keep up. What are your thoughts on the way the ICO coins are being sold? Does the thought of the coins being sold at different prices during the ICO round bother you as an investor? Well, no, because I'm not considering this an investment. I'll explain that in a minute. If I lose, I'm going to blame you. Hey, none of this in the show is investment advice. I do not suggest anybody pledges to this crowd sale. The purpose of this stream is purely for me to share with you what I'm doing. So I'm just documenting my own donation, if you like, and do with that what you will. Why is only Ether accepted is a good question. Can you give your forecast for EOS in terms of profitability in the coming years? Bit of a hard question, but a good talking point. Well, I would take that in the light of, imagine if this was the launch of Ethereum way back when they did their original crowdfund, you know? What about registering public key and ICO for claiming tokens? Please explain. Well, all that documentation is on the site. I've picked up a specific process that I'm going to go through. Any thoughts on running in flip-flops on a beach? I think that should be a sport, personally. What else we got here? Any thoughts on Mercury and Darius project? No. Off topic, sorry. You need to publish a few simple guides. Well, first of all, I don't need to do anything. It's a nightmare trying to wade through the whole subject. Well, I have prepared some talking points, like a simplified version of the information, but we'll get to that. In fact, if you win, share the fortune with Chris. Why do they make some ICOs so difficult to invest in? I don't think they do that on purpose. I don't think it's just where we're at right now in terms of ICOs and crypto and blah, blah, blah. So let's check in with the timer. 18 minutes to go. So while we wait, let's see what else I've got up here. I'll get into some, now we've done the intro and the chat bit. So as always, I have Ether gas station open to monitor the load on the Ethereum network. I've got my Ether wallet right here with my customary half an Ether ready to invest in their donate. I shouldn't say invest because that's the way I'm thinking about it. I'm going to leave my gas price on 50 gigawatt as per yesterday. Was it yesterday or Saturday when I did invest with me with 10x? So I'm going to leave that on there because there's no fixed price and because there's a 5-day window, we should be all right. So that's that. Right. Let's talk about EOS, shall we? What I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a single investment with Ether. Excuse me while I get some water ready because I'm going to be yakking for a while here. So Ether is the only currency that this ICO is accepting. I kind of find that interesting. If you tuned into the Invest With Me episode from Saturday, episode 1, the pilot episode, which went down really well. Now, let me make sure I don't pour water all over my bloody keyboard. There she goes. Okay, pretty good. So when 10x did their ICO on Saturday, they actually probably didn't need to support that many currencies because it sold out in 8 minutes anyway. Probably most of it in Ether pledges. But they supported Litecoin and Dash and all that bunch of ERC20 tokens and so on. So maybe the reason they've chosen Ether exclusively in this case is because it's the easiest and simplest approach because you receive the tokens in the wallet that you pledged from, assuming it supports ERC20 tokens, right? So I need to keep an eye on this timer. So let me do what I did on Saturday. Let me set a timer every, say, 5 minutes. That way I won't get carried away talking and miss the opening. So back to the point I was making. So if you do want to donate to this crowdfund, just make sure you are sending from an Ethereum wallet that supports the ERC20 token standard. The classic choice, of course, is myetherwallet.com, which was what I had open just now, which I can show you. myetherwallet.com. I suppose the only downside to this is, like, I used this on Saturday to attempt to pledge to the 10x crowdfund, but it didn't get through in time. Maybe the My Ether wallet node was jammed. Maybe it was just bad luck. But what did Julian say? 4,000 people got in, and there was like 40,000 people hitting the site. So it was only like 10% of people got in. The people who said they did get in said they chose a higher gas price, but you know, that's just the way it is. I was happy to go with the recommendation, and I wasn't particularly attached to the outcome. It is what it is. Right, here we go. I've got another reminder coming up here that the EOS crowdfund launches, but that's cool. So I have prepared some talking points, so let's see how much I can get through with it in the next 15 minutes before the crowd sale officially opens. And as soon as it opens, I'll have to skip straight to that, and then I'll send my Ether to it. Of course, a big disclaimer, I've not been able to rehearse this, obviously. because the donation address is not visible yet. So there's no guarantee what will happen here. I made the same disclaimer on Saturday, and it turned out I wasn't able to get any of the tokens. I sent my Ether to the crowd sale and it bounced back. So that's that. I did get my Ether back, by the way. So I would consider this show purely for entertainment purposes, and then you won't be disappointed no matter what happens. Now, another disclaimer is, yet again, due to regulations in the United States, US citizens are not allowed to participate. So you'll know that because you're going to read the terms and conditions anyway, but I just thought I'd highlight that as an important thing. So it's Bitfinex, yes. They've announced they will be listing the EOS token for sale from the 1st of July, which is Saturday. Link in the video description if you would like to read the official announcement from Bitfinex of that. So yes, just to be clear, EOS tokens will be available both through the Bitfinex exchange and directly from the crowd sale website at the same time. It's just for the first 5 days, today through to Saturday, they'll be exclusively available through the EOS site. All right. So I guess that's one of the benefits of pledging this week, is then there won't be two sources of it. However, they'll be easy to get hold of. I can't guarantee what the price will be, but at least you'll be able to get them through the crowd sale or through the exchange. But if you really, really want some, there's plenty of opportunity to get some. So yes, the first week is exclusively through the crowdfund site, and then we'll be able to get them on the exchange as well. So far, it's only Bitfinex that have announced they're going to support it. So they've probably, the company behind EOS is called Block.one or Block One. So they've probably done a deal with them to say, like, you know, we want an exchange up and ready. And Bitfinex are only too happy to oblige, right? So let's check back in with the chat. I don't want to neglect you guys for too long. Let's see what's going on here. Now I'm keeping it at the bottom of the chat, so it's going to be potluck whether I see your message or not, right? Slow mode, 10 out of 10. Okay. Cryptoverse, to be quick, I recommend you put more GUI and switch the node to something different than my Ether wallet in the top right hand corner. So what he's talking about there, who's that? Get credit, Darius. Credit where credit is due. Yeah, so this is the problem I had the other day. I used my Ether wallet as the node in the top right hand corner. So perhaps we should use Etherscan or a different one. Let's try it. Let's try Etherscan as the node today. And let's mess about. Let's go mad. Let's put the gas price up to, oh, as far as it'll go. 60 GUI, there you go. Oops, I've opened the wallet info, it's fine. And I suppose I've revealed anything there, did I? No, it's okay. So yeah, I'll put it on, we'll go full tilt, 60 GUI. See if that makes a difference. I don't think it'll matter, but it's just for fun. Just a bit of fun. There you go, Darius. Took your advice, mate. Anybody else got questions? What do you get for 0.5 ETH? Okay, it's a very good question. I don't know, and no one does know. Oh, there's a 5-minute timer right there. Right, let's see what time we got. 11 minutes to go. Got to set another 5-minute timer so I can keep on point here. 11 minutes to go. All right, let's talk about the distribution. With the 10x crowd sale, I started it an hour earlier than I meant to, which did allow me a lot of time to talk about the ins and outs of the project. Whereas today I don't have that luxury. Let me just sort my camera settings out a bit here. So let me go inside the crowd sale system. So on the EOS site, click Get EOS. Read the terms and conditions. I've already read them yesterday. And then click that I'm not a US citizen. I've read the token purchase agreement yesterday. I've read the terms of use yesterday, and I've read the technical white paper. Also linked in the video description is the technical white paper. So click continue, and then it allows me access into the, oh, forbidden area. Well, this was working yesterday. That's kind of interesting. Oh dear me. Well, I've been in here. I promise you I've been in here. I was been in here yesterday to prepare for the show. Why is that then? You think this is because that looks like a problem to me. I don't think that's supposed to happen. I was thinking that maybe they're going to only open this when the countdown timer reaches 0. However, I don't think that's the case. I think this is genuinely a problem. What happened yesterday was the site worked fine, and then... timer's changed. The site worked fine, and it was only the address that was pending. Right, now the timer's gone bananas, look. Now the timer says 0. What on earth is going on here? Ah, there we go. It's back again. 9 minutes, right. Try again. Scroll all the way to the bottom of this. Agree to all the terms. Continue. Oh, there it goes again. Well, this is not good, is it now? I hope there someone at Block 1 is watching the stream. Because it ain't happening, people. Anyway, I'm just have to go with my notes, aren't I? That I prepared. So I meant to go inside the system and show you it, but anyway, 10% of the there's a billion tokens in total will be the supply. 10% of that, or 100 million tokens, are being reserved for Block 1, who is the company that are developing the EOS software, and they've set the Ethereum contract that we're going to donate to, which is the ERC20 token on the Ethereum network. So they're using the Ethereum network temporarily to do the token issuance, right? So that smart contract is going to create 1 billion tokens. It's going to set aside 10% of those for the company, Block 1, but they're locked away. So they're not allowed to transfer or trade them until the distribution phase is over, which is like 341 days. So these 100 tokens will be released on the EOS blockchain, if it is ever launched, by the way, over a 10-year period. This is the actual EOS software is going to be coded in such a way that, assuming whoever launches the platform launches it with that code, it will then unlock these 100 million tokens to Block 1 at the rate of 10 million tokens a year for 10 years. Now, I say that's assuming the official EOS blockchain isn't running modified code. So what I mean by that is Block.1 are going to build... Is it Block.1 or Block 1? I'll just call them Block 1. So Block 1 are going to develop EOS as an open source software system, but they have no intention of launching it as a decentralized application platform. They're going to leave that to someone else to grab the open source code and then launch it, right? So this is the thing. Block 1 won't own the EOS blockchain. Someone else will publish it based on open source code that they can just nab off of GitHub. And theoretically, whoever that is could modify it so that Block 1 don't get their tokens or get them immediately, right? But that's completely outside of Block 1's control, right? But they've officially declared that Block 1 will not be taking their own software and launching it, because that might mean that they're in control of it. So that's perfectly normal, by the way. It's the same thing that happened with peer plays. When you have an open source blockchain system, there may be several chains launched at once, but one of them needs to be the official chain as voted by the token holders. So we'll get into that. This is all in the white paper, so if you want to read it, you should do. Anyway, so this whole... Oh, there's another 5-minute timer gone. Sorry. Let's check in with the EOS site, and then I'll get back to the notes. So 5 minutes to go. Get EOS tokens. Scroll to the bottom. Click all the tick boxes and forbidden. Oh my goodness. Disgusting. What can I say? Well, do you know what I'm going to have to do here? I'm going to have to go to Twitter, aren't I? I'm going to have to go to Twitter and find out what on earth is going on here. Block... Is it Block 1? Block 1? Block.1? EOS? Yeah, I am following them. They're following me. Okay, that doesn't look good, right? Does it now? Clicked on the wrong one, clearly. EOS IO? There we go, that's the right one. Okie dokie then. So 13 hours ago was the last time they tweeted. Everyone please be alert for scams. Yeah, the scams thing. What happened to 10x was that... Hang on, keep an eye on the time here. What happened to 10x was people were going into the 10x Slack and then posting Ethereum addresses saying, send your send your investment here. And that was their wallet address, not the 10x donation address. So 10x had a Slack bot that was automatically deleting those kinds of messages and links. But what happened was, during the crowd sale, the 8-minute crowd sale, Slack thought the bot was spamming and it disabled it. So then that allowed all the fake links and all of the fake addresses to come through without being filtered. So they ended up having to just lock down the entire 10x Slack to prevent, fraud. So this is the kind of thing that happens. So as long as you stick to the official EOS site, it should be all right. So I'm going to have to tweet them, aren't I? I'm getting a, what server code is it? It's a 503, is it? Let's see. It's a 403. I'm getting a 403 error when I tick all the agreements and then attempt to enter the EOS ICO area. So what I should probably do is give them a screenshot as well to prove it. So I'm just going to load up my, what's this, Jing screen capture doodah thingy. It lags when I open this a little bit. Give me a second here. I'll take a water break. Okay, here it comes. So I get this. It takes a picture of this. Save that right there. Right, and then I can attach this to my Twitter message. That one was 2 minutes ago. There we go, tweet that out to them. Jolly good. Delightful. Well, what's going to happen here then? Let's check the timer again. Reload the page. Site's starting to slow down now. It might be getting meshed. It might be even getting attacked, who knows? Might be getting DDoSed for all I know. Get EOS tokens, let's try again. And maybe it's that. Maybe it's... Oh, okay, I'm in. That actually worked. So that's what was supposed to happen. So this is where I wanted to talk about the fact that 200 million tokens, got that wrong. 200 million tokens, no, I didn't get it wrong. 100 million are being reserved for block 1, but 200 million is the issuance in the first 5 days. So the first period, block of 5 days, block of 200 million tokens. And they will be shared in the proportion of which you pledge. So if in the first 5 days, if by the end of the 5-day period, which it says here is 1 p.m. UTC, July the 1st, so that's Saturday. If at that point they've raised, say, $1 million, or so that's let's say they raised $200 million, right? Just for ease of math. Say they've raised $200 million and 200 million people pledged $1 each, right? That would mean each person gets 1 token each, right? Because you get tokens based on what proportion of the total money raised that you make up, right? So if $100 was pledged and 10 of it was yours, you account for 10% of the money raised, so you get 10% of the tokens. That's how it works. And that's how it's going to work in the second phase. So next week, when we get into the main token distribution, shall we say, it says it's going to be split into 350 consecutive periods of 23 hours each. So 2 million tokens are going to be issued every 23 hours on the same basis. So in a given 23-hour period, if $100 is raised and 10 of it is yours, you account for 10%, you get 10% of the daily token issuance. Pretty straightforward. And the reason they're doing this is because if a lot of individuals pledge, it makes it more expensive for the whales. So the goal is to try and make it fairer. Anyway, scrolling down here, there's more details about that. What I'm looking for is this. This is where the donation address is going to appear, which I would have thought, because my clock is now saying 2 p.m. and I'm on UTC +1, right now. So, do you think I have to refresh the page? I don't imagine so. Because if I do that, it might ask me to agree to the terms and conditions again. With the 10x crowd sale, it just appeared. And yeah, I think this is an interactive web page element. So let's do a little zoom. So I don't know if you can see this on the stream, but it says interface available on the 26th of June at 1 p.m. UTC, which is right now. And it's there's a little button, it's faded out. It says EOS token distribution interface. Well, I've got the sun coming in here and I can't really read it, but so I'm not going with their recommended configuration at the top here. I'm going with my Ether wallet because I have a Bearner wallet that I control the private keys to. So yeah, it says down here, don't use exchanges, don't use Bitcoin wallets, don't blah, 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 blah. And then there's the instructions on how to claim the tokens, but I'm actually going to do that as soon as it appears. If it appears. Why is it not appearing? Let's see if they reply to my tweet. There's people replying to this morning's tweets. People following me. Yeah. Okay. Still no reply from them though. Even though it's now working. Okay, it's now 2 minutes past. I'll duplicate this window. Nope, that didn't help. Ah, how interesting. Maybe my clock's a couple of minutes out. Who knows? I'll have to go back to the chat in a minute. Otherwise this is boring, isn't it? Oh, now it's really taking some time to load. Yeah, let's have a look at the Ethereum network. Still only 34% gas usage. Oh dear, now the website can't be reached. It's been crushed by the traffic. What a surprise. I'll put that on the other screen for a minute. See what you guys think to this. EOS doesn't have a product yet. That's true. That is very true. Well, I didn't refresh, did I? I've kept it on there. I've just opened it in a new tab so I can keep both of them going. Why is EOS not in Cloudflare? Are they scatterbrained? Yeah, that's a good point, actually. That should have given me a Cloudflare, the site is unreachable thing. Go and check down detector. Okay, I will. It's got quite a good site, isn't it? Down detector. Fair use violation. Do I want to donate some money? Not right now. Oh my goodness. It says our system has detected unusual traffic from your computer network. Oh, that's probably my VPN. Yep, it's probably because I'm on a VPN, so I can't use down detector right now. I'm not turning me VPN off, not for that anyway. I'll just keep refreshing it on the other page. The Civic ICO was the best so far, according to Emil. Really? No, Luke, don't be doing that. Right, if you post addresses in the chat, I'll ban you. Don't do that. Because that could be fraudulent. It is dead. DOA. It is DOA. Alright, well, while we wait for it to come back to life, let's do some more analysis. I'll keep refreshing it on the other screen here. And it's completely dead. That's okay. That's okay. So where do we get to? Token distribution. Yeah, so if you don't get in the first 5 days with the first 200 million being distributed, you can get in over the next 341 days because 2 million tokens a day are going to become available. And so this is, like I said, the purpose of this distribution over 341 days is then the EOS developers kind of have to show progress, because in order to keep investors interested, right, they have to show progress on the EOS development of the actual software. So this is as opposed to raising all the money in a few minutes. The downside to that is that if you've got all the money, you might lose the hunger to build the best possible product that you can. So they've kind of created an incentive for themselves in that regard, haven't they? No, site is completely off. So as I said earlier on, it's important to read the terms and conditions of the crowd sale because purchasing EOS tokens comes with no obligation of any kind. None. Despite that, the site is still being mashed right now. So I'm seeing this like a charitable donation to the project because I want to see it happen, right? If you adopt that attitude, then your mind is in the right place, right? If you're not happy making your investment as a charitable donation, you might want to reconsider participating just because you might never get anything for your money. And I'm fine with that. It's a very high risk thing. Oh, goodness me. No, still not happening. So while we wait for this, we can talk about what EOS is going to be. Let's see what you guys in the chat are talking about. How much are you investing today in this ICO? 1/2 an ether, 0.5 ether. It's about, what's that? Based on, it's like $140. It's not a lot. Not a lot at all. But I don't overexpose myself to any one investment. So I would much rather make, say 12 investments a year, one per month, and invest, say, $100 in each one. So, I've invested $1,200 in total over 12 different projects over 12 months, right? That's a much better diversification strategy. And it's the way that venture capitalists do it. Angel investors split their own money up because there is no way to know which project will succeed and which one will fail. Even the most promising ones sometimes will just flop. So I do that. I don't stick 1,200 quid into one project. I would stick, say, $100 into one project and then do 12 of them. We are sorry for the issues and slowdowns with the website. Who says that? Let's have a look back at Twitter. So people are replying to me on Twitter here. Yep, it went down. So much for being the biggest ICO ever. Well, it still might be. It still might be. Hang on, I've got a Twitter message. Can't show you that. Let me have a look who it is first. Oh, it's EOS. Yes, I'm still getting the error. Now, ordinarily, if this was happening and I weren't streaming, I would use my VPN to tunnel to a different country. But I can't do that when I'm streaming because I'll cut it off. So I don't want to do that. I'd rather just wait. What else you say? Someone has the page working. Powell. I can share a screenshot. It's fine, Powell. We believe you. Samaro, Jamie. I'm interested in investing in EOS. Have also invested in Eternity and think one of these two will replace Ethereum. Well, it might not replace Ethereum. I think they can coexist. You know what I mean? There's enough potential in decentralized apps to power both of them, I believe. Oh my goodness, site's still down. Site's still down. Speaking of Steemit, you guys, if you would be so kind, if you'd be so kind as to upvote my, I've got this on, I've got the stream going on Steemit, so if you'd be kind enough to go and upvote that, I'd appreciate it. That's, instead of sending me a tip, you can, there's people commenting on it already. Let's see what people have got to say on Steemit. What we got? Thank you, tuned in, waiting for the live stream. Wow, Chris, good idea. Interested in an ICO live. Interesting, thanks, upvoted. Okay, cool. Yeah, so I like covering these ICOs as kind of like sporting events. I think that's a pretty good idea. Oops, there's EOS. Okie dokie then. Site's still down, site's still down, site's still down. Okay. Thank you for upvoting me. No, I'm not risking it, Will. Will says I can change VPN while streaming. Well, I use private internet access, which it will disconnect me. I've tried it before. In Sweden, it's not working. Okay. What's my Steam tag? Oh no, that's not me, is it? No, you're talking to someone else. Let's see what else we've got happening on Twitter. People are saying the same here. Site noise is not accessible. Getting a HTTP 503 error. Yep. Still getting it. Oh, hang on. Hang on. Hang on. Look here. The chrome wheel's going round. At least it's not an out-and-out rejection this time. This is not good, is it? This is not good. They should have prepared for this. Nope. Now it's timing out. It's not 503. It's just completely timing out. Disgusting. You would have thought they'd have thought of this, wouldn't you? You would have thought. Oh, thank you, buddy.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, I'm streaming right now.
I'm trying to be as quiet as possible. Oops.
Thank you. I'm going crazy. It's not working. Yeah, I know. I am talking to people. Yes. Well, EOS haven't got back to me on Twitter, put it that way. Because they messaged me asking if I was still seeing the problem. And the answer is yes, I absolutely am. Anyway, so enough waffling. Let me get back to my talking points because I don't want to bore you with just refreshing the page. So let's talk about what EOS is going to be, right? Why is everyone so bloody interested in this? And why am I interested in it? A lot of people don't like, reading the white papers. They don't like absorbing the information. I quite like that. I think I'm built for that. I'm built to absorb massive amounts of information in detail and then, reformat it and regurgitate it. So EOS is going to become an operating system, basically, like a blockchain-based operating system upon which decentralized applications can be built. So think of like the iOS for Apple phones or Google Android for Android phones, right? Well, you call them an Android phone, but they're not. I mean, the difference with Apple is they build the hardware and the operating system. Then the apps are developed by lots and lots of independent app developers. Whereas with Google phones, Google do have a phone now, don't they? They have the Pixel and they had the Nexus and all that. So that's Google hardware. But they also run their own software, right? The Google Android operating system. But they also allow Samsung and all the other manufacturers, HTC, to run that operating system. And then you get freelance developers building apps. Now, from the white paper, I've read the white paper twice, okay? From the white paper, quote, "The software provides accounts, authentication, databases, asynchronous communication, and the scheduling of applications across hundreds of CPU cores or clusters," close quote. So just like BitShares and the Steem blockchain, it uses human-friendly account names, like Chris-Coney, or like I just posted my Steemit link in the chat there, like Marketing Monk. So that's it. Instead of using these long cryptographic addresses that are used by Bitcoin, Ethereum, and most other blockchain platforms, right? Which is definitely hindering their adoption because people it looks like an alien language, right? So time for a quick refresh of the EOS website. Still not happening. I'll leave that going. Also from the white paper, quote, "The resulting technology is a blockchain architecture that scales to millions of transactions per second, eliminates user fees, and allows for quick and easy development of decentralized applications," close quote. Millions of transactions per second. Now that might sound like a lot, but it's the kind of capacity it needs if there are going to be thousands of apps running on it at the same time. So, I mean, like with my iPhone here, it's got a dedicated processor and dedicated hardware to run just my apps. But these aren't decentralized apps, are they? Right? If my phone dies, that's it. I would have to load them up on a new phone. So think of, you can't build a serious rival for eBay, Uber, Airbnb, or Facebook on Ethereum. Not as it stands today anyway, you just can't handle it. Like 10 transactions a second, it's just not going to happen. You need millions, right? So EOS also claims 0 user fees. But to be fair, the Ethereum developers are also working on allowing smart contracts to pay their own transaction fees. So the benefit of that is, from the user's point of view, transactions won't cost them anything. So I've spoken about ethlance.com, for example. So freelancers that sign up to that, or employers like me, when I signed up, I had to pay to sign up for an account, right? Which is odd, because we're just not used to these models. So that's a problem with Bitcoin and Ethereum, is it flips the model where the senders have to pay the transaction fees. So for decentralized apps, the masses are just not going to like it. You build a social network on Ethereum and ask people to buy some Ethereum, fund their account to post message. They're not going to do it. They're just not going to do it, right? So that's got to change. And I was listening to an Ethereum developers hangout the other day, and while it was quite hard to follow, because these guys are like, woo, super advanced, I do know enough about coding from my history. I have done a bit of coding in my time. I was able to follow what they were talking about, even though some of the terminology I wasn't able to follow. So, I talk about Dan Larimer, who created BitShares 1 and BitShares 2. And what that technology became was the proof of having a blockchain that could produce or process thousands and thousands and thousands of transactions per second. And BitShares proves that's possible. Cool. Then with Steem, the Steem blockchain kind of was like an experiment in, can you have a blockchain with 0 transaction fees? And that's Steem, right? With Steem, it is a social network, and you can sign up for nothing, and you can use it for nothing. You can post messages, post content, send messages, make comments, all that kind of thing, and you don't pay the transaction fees. So that is a real social network use case. Yeah. Now, how that's accomplished is for later on, or when you read the right white paper for yourself. One key benefit for a user of, say, EOS is that once they've set up an account via one EOS app, so they'll be using an app like, I don't know, say a social network, right? So they actually see an ad online for this social networking app. They have no idea that EOS is powering it. They don't care. They sign up for this social network, but in the background, it creates an account for them on the EOS platform, because that's basically the backend database, right? What they can now do is use that same account to log into any other EOS-based apps, because their account details are saved in a centralized database. When I say centralized, it's on the EOS blockchain, so it's in one place, but it's decentralized because it's a blockchain, right? So this would be akin to the login with Facebook feature that we see on a lot of websites nowadays, right? So it would be like login with EOS or whatever. So you'd have one account, one username and password, and then you would just use that to log into any of the other apps. So you've got an app here, you've got a link to the EOS platform, then you've got another app over here, and you could log into this app with the EOS account details. So this is super cool. And I think it will encourage people to look for other EOS-based apps that they can use the same login details with, because it's frictionless, right? It's convenient. People like convenience. It's all good in the hood. Now, the next segment I've prepared is to talk about miners. But I'm going to take a pause, and we're going to go back to the chat, see what's going on in there. So I'm going to refresh the EOS site one more time, establishing a secure connection. See what you guys have got here. Let's see. Scam alert. Don't use the address posted. Who posted an address? Right. Ban. Thanks for pointing out. Okay. Homan. You posted a link, so you get banned. Goodbye. Okay, any more? You know what I'm going to do? I'll just search for, can you guys see this? No, you can't, can you? Here's what I'm doing. So I'll just do a search for 0x because that's all Ethereum addresses start with that, right? Sorry about that. Goodbye. Any more for any more? Cool. No, don't post. If I see any addresses, Bitcoin, Ethereum, or otherwise, I'll just get banned here with no warning, okay? No dicking about. So, yes, now I've had a little hissy fit. Restart your PC. Are you having a laugh? Or are you talking to me there, Sean? I don't know. Site still ain't loading, guys. Site still is not loading. Cool video says San Francisco will crash the price 16 hours. You heard EFS. What are you guys talking about? Check Telegram pinned message. None of your business says you will lose 100% of your money unless you know how to use Linux to register your token's public keys. So I heard about this, and in my chat, my direct chat with EOS last night on Twitter, I checked this with them, and they said it wasn't true. Oh, thank you, Powell, for this screenshot. What we got, look. So Powell on Twitter says, just in case you didn't see it yet, which I didn't, let's see what we've got. 4,897 Ether has been raised. All right then. So let's I'll tell you what we'll do. Let's go to Coinigy and go to Ethereum. $262. $262 multiplied by how much it says in this screenshot, 4897.71. So we're up to $1.2 million so far, and we are 22 minutes in. Lovely. So that's not bad. So 22 minutes, $1 million in 22 minutes, that's slow. That's slow, isn't it? Compared to the likes of the 10x crowd sale and whatnot. Oh, more screenshots coming in. Oh my goodness, it's gone up already. 13,000 Ether. Let's check the gas meter here. Look here. Now the real-time gas meter has gone up to 77% usage. Transaction costs are still pretty low though. So that's cool, isn't it? So yeah, someone else has just sent me a screenshot saying we're up to 13,000. I appreciate this, by the way, you folks. Gotta get a shout out. Gotta get a shout out. Gotta get a shout out. I'll actually retweet you, Viknesh. You beautiful man, you. Thank you. Let's see, what else we got? Lots of stuff coming in here. So it was 13,386 is the latest count. I still can't get on the page myself. 13,386.39 times $261.80. 3.5 million. $3.5 million, 3.5, 3.5. Any advance on 3.5? It's like an auction, isn't it? An auction house. Look, this is the screenshot. This is someone's phone. I wonder if I can get it on my phone. There's more tweets coming in. There's more tweets coming in. Let's see what else we've got on Twitter. Oh, another update. Well, that says 12,690. So that one's less. That one's less up to date. People are seeing my retweeted. Let me see if I can get on it on my phone. Oh no, I'm running the VPN on my phone as well. Let me turn it off. Or maybe I could tunnel to a different country. Let me just do it plain vanilla. EOS.io. Whoops. And got tea here. Oh, it's stuck to my desk. Nice cup of tea. It's not happening on my phone either. let us go. Oh, another message. EOS are messaging me on Twitter saying, let us know if you keep seeing difficulties. Cool. Righto. Well, we'll just have to soldier on, won't we? I'll just have to keep refreshing the page and rely on your tweets, anyone who gets in. But for now, let's return to my information, because I want this recording to be valuable and not just a bunch of yada yada waiting for the site to load stuff. So let's move on to talking about miners in the EOS world. So EOS will use DPoS, or Delegated Proof of Stake. Now in DPoS, they don't call them miners, they call them witnesses. But I'm going to say miners just for the benefit of ease, okay? So everyone will know what I'm talking about. So Delegated Proof of Stake, or DPoS, this is a system where the holders of the EOS tokens will get to elect the miners. And only elected miners are allowed to earn transaction fees and produce blocks. Now, in the white paper, it does say that, or I don't know if it's in the white paper or in the website, but either way, I've gleaned it from the information they published anyway. I think it was the white paper. EOS will have 21 miners at any one time, who will then take it in turns to process blocks of transactions, right? And they say this is beneficial above and beyond proof of work because you don't have all that hashing power and energy requirement. It's purely a rota system where, you know, a random miner gets selected to produce the block, and you don't need to do a mad, you know, proof of work hashing. Now there'll be dozens of other, so I said 21 miners at any one time that are elected, right? There'll be dozens more miners also ready to process transactions if they are elected, which actually could happen at any time, right? A miner or a witness could get sacked at any minute and another one voted in. So there'll be lots and lots of unpaid miners waiting in the wings to be elected if one of the elected miners, you know, doesn't perform. So an elected miner may lose their job at any minute, right? Say if they don't perform well, respond well, or say if they fail to mine a block in a timely manner, if they don't mine a block when it's their turn, just poor performance in general, right? They'll quickly get kicked out and replaced by somebody else. So that's cool. So it's basically the token holders that have the power to elect them. Now, if EOS found itself, if it found itself in a situation like Bitcoin is right now, where there were 3 different groups of miners all proposing different upgrades to the network, there's an easy way to solve this in EOS, right? The EOS token holders simply elect the miners who are going to implement the upgrade that they agree with, right? And then they give those miners that power to carry it out. And if the miners don't do what the users want, say the elected miners don't do what the users want, they just get voted out, and the miners that will play ball get voted in, right? It's kind of interesting. And this system is already at work in the BitShares network and in Steem, right? You may not be aware of this, but this is all happening in the background of the Steem blockchain and the BitShares blockchain. They use delegated proof of stake mining. So this governance system is built into the very system itself, and it means it's the token holders that have all the power, or at least they have the power to give power to certain miners, right? Now, I used to think this approach meant that you could theoretically just buy up all the tokens and then have absolute power. But the thing with that is, think about it. Amanda B. Johnson talks about this in terms of how you can't game the Dash system in the same way. The action of starting to buy up large quantities of tokens, that's demand coming into the system, which would cause the price of each token to escalate exponentially. So if I was the person trying to take over the network by buying up all the tokens, the first one that I bought would be the cheapest because it would be at the market price. But the price would quickly get to the point where a single token would cost millions or billions of dollars each, because the price would adjust based on the demand that I created, thereby causing me to pay a higher and higher price, almost escalating to infinity. So I couldn't possibly, there's a tipping point where I would just need all of my money to buy one extra token. So that's the counterbalance to that argument, right? Now then, based on what I've read in the white paper, the amount of network capacity that any one particular app can consume is based on how much of the EOS tokens that they hold. So for me, like as an investor, if I hold a whole bunch of EOS tokens, but I don't intend to use them to build a decentralized app, I could rent the capacity that is due to me to an app developer, right? If I hold 1% of all EOS tokens, then I'm entitled to 1% of the EOS network's bandwidth, say. But if I don't use it, I can rent it to an app developer, right, who doesn't have enough tokens. So that's instead of them buying 1% of the tokens, they can use mine, right? So that's pretty cool. It's like buying carbon credits or something in the traditional economy. So that's really interesting stuff, isn't it? Let's see what we've got on Twitter now. Vikanesh is back and he says, check the Etherscan address shared in the EOS Slack. Okay, he's given me it. Good man. What else has he said here? Warning, don't send without confirming. Okay. Oh yeah, of course. Of course. Let's see. Okay, this is good. This is good. Look. Hey, Vikanesh deserves a tip for this. He really does deserve a tip. He's doing me a good service. I still cannot get on the page. I'm still refreshing. Still not happening. But anyway, I've got, look, okay, right, so I've got Etherscan up. This is supposedly the address that the EOS crowdfund is happening on. Now, as he said, do not under any circumstances copy this address that I'm showing you. Make absolutely sure that you are getting the address from the EOS website, right? You must. So there are 4,410 transactions coming so far, and near enough 19,000 Ether has been pledged, of a total of 5 million. So we're 32 minutes in, and we're up to $5 million. Let's check in with the chat, see how you guys are getting on. Let's see. Already 5 million, yep. Why does the sale contract say the EOS tokens won't work on the EOS network? That is a fantastic question, Skeptic33. It's because... Hang on a minute, I need to do another address scan here. If any of you have posted addresses... Nope. I was going to say, I was going to go on another banning spree then. Yes, don't do it. Wrong address posted in the Slack. Anyway, let's get back to Skeptic's question. Why does the contract say the EOS tokens won't work on the EOS network? So to be clear, EOS, they're just using the Ethereum network. They're just using the services of the Ethereum network to create a token for the token sale. That's it. That's all they're using the services of Ethereum for. EOS itself will be a completely separate blockchain platform that will rival Ethereum, quite frankly. It will be competing. So when a developer wants to create a decentralized app, the developer has the choice of whether to develop it on Ethereum, Ethereum Core, the Lisk platform, or an EOS, right? And then each of these platforms will have to market themselves to developers to say, we are the best platform to build decentralized apps on, and these are the reasons why. So what we will do when and if EOS ever does launch the actual blockchain itself, then we will redeem the Ethereum-based tokens from the crowd sale. We will redeem them for the real native EOS tokens on the real EOS network. So the tokens we get in the crowd sale today or tomorrow or whenever, they're only IOUs, right? They're only records of us investing. So again, GS says that EOS will hit Bitfinex on the 1st of July. Paolo says you need a moderator for your chat. You are quite right, Paolo. That is quite right, mate. So just looking at Ethereum chart again. So we can now start just refreshing the old Etherscan, 5.2 million. And the site still is not loading up. Now, just to let you know, guys, I'm going to cut this stream at an hour. I think I've already been going an hour, haven't I? Let me check. We've been going an hour and 15 minutes. I think that's long enough to do this. So I've actually spoken about all of the talking points that I prepared, and yeah, clearly the site's not loading up anytime soon. So we've covered the launch, we've covered the 19,000 ether, 19,669 ether that has been pledged so far. We've seen $5.2 million worth of ether raised in the first hour, or first 30 minutes rather, from 4,680 transactions. So I'm going to leave it there, guys, and we'll perhaps check in during the week in the news and commentary show as we go. All right? So thank you very much for joining me today, guys. If you liked this episode, hit the like button. If you disliked it, hit the dislike button. Please leave me a comment below with some feedback and get subscribed. And of course, I would very much appreciate it if you would support the Cryptoverse and help me to boost cryptocurrency adoption by going to cryptoversity.com/podcast and becoming a patron. That would be what I'd most be grateful for. If you don't want to become a patron, then you can send me a tip in Bitcoin, in Dash, or any cryptocurrency, link in the video description. You can also support me with PayPal. Or if you don't want to do any of that, you can buy yourself an online course from the courses section of Cryptoversity. There are a whole bunch of different courses here, from $10 right up to $59, depending on what you want to learn. And as you can see, my site's working fine. I imagine if it was under the strain of the EOS website right now, it would probably be crippled as well. The fourth way you can support me is by actually earning money for yourself. If you go to the footer of the site, click on affiliate program, here you'll be able to sign up as a Cryptoversity affiliate. You'll get yourself a referral link, and then if you give that to people who want to learn about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains, they'll come through to the site. If they buy a course or sign up as a patron, you'll get 25% commission on that. So you'll help someone get a good education in Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. You'll earn yourself 25% commission in Bitcoin or Litecoin, and you will help support me, support Cryptoversity, the online school, and you'll help support this channel that provides free information for anyone who wants to learn about Bitcoin, cryptocurrencies, and blockchains. So thank you very much for joining me live. Thank you very much for watching this recording if you're watching it on the recording. I will be back tomorrow for another market roundup and another news and commentary show, assuming there are no more ICOs to cover. So until then, guys, it's me, Chris Coney, saying bye for now.